Cheers on Capitol Hill for what is being hailed by some as a major step forward in military justice reform years in the making, with lawmakers for the first time agreeing on legislation that would hand military sexual assault cases to an independent prosecutor outside the chain of command. For years, the military has been criticized for slow-walking sex assault cases or dismissing them altogether. And after years of fighting, Congresswoman Jackie Spears said the clarion call of sexual assault survivors has been heard. And the group Protect Our Defenders, which works to end sexual violence in the military, tweeted the bill includes the most transformative military justice reforms in our nation's history. But even they still point out there's a potentially fatal flaw in the legislation.
It's not democratic. It's very disappointing and very discouraging.
Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, in a one-on-one interview with Spotlight on America, expressed outrage that legislation she proposed to make the military justice system truly independent has been gutted by a small contingent of lawmakers who she blames for taking the teeth out of her proposal, despite the fact she had majority support.
Tell me your reaction when it seems like a small minority can hold up what looks like major progress that's well supported here.
Yeah, 4 members of Congress can hold up the progress of 66 senators and 220 House members, the entire Congressional Black Caucus, the entire Congressional Hispanic Caucus, almost every veterans organization, and their views were irrelevant to the 4 men in a room who closed the door and wrote what they wanted to write.
Gillibrand says what they wrote behind closed doors will allow military commanders to keep the authority to make major decisions on sex assault cases, essentially robbing survivors of a chance to pursue justice that's completely free of influence from their chain of command.
That prosecutor is going to have to check with the commander on witnesses and evidence and other things throughout the trial. You're going to look at the system and say, am I going to get an independent review? Am I going to get something outside the chain of command? And sadly and, disappointingly, the answer is no.
That's a disappointment for survivors who've repeatedly told Spotlight on America their fight for justice should not involve their superiors.
The victims don't stand a chance at getting justice.
They didn't do anything about the situation. His chain of command did nothing. They didn't even look at the evidence.
What does that say about this system?
They don't care.
The culture in the military is toxic, and it has to change.
Senator Gillibrand and her allies on both sides of the aisle are vowing to make that happen.
We all ought to be sick and tired of foot dragging on this subject,
saying they'll continue to push for further legislation to make sure justice in the military is truly blind.
I will not stop fighting. I will fight the good fight to the very end.
I'm Josie Sturman for Spotlight on America.